Can you test some of those other ones out there? And turn that up. I think it's... Oh, fuck yeah. We have now introduced the Rodecaster Pro 2, the sound effects on the Monthly Listeners.
You know what's
podcast.
funny is when we were doing the YNK podcast in the early days, we would use our pee breaks as like our time to go into like the ad reads.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have those yet.
So we're like, this piss break is brought to you by because like undoubtedly like he's a chatterbox. Mike talks forever, so like episodes were always at least 90 minutes to 2 hours. And like they're drinking beers and stuff, so like they always have to piss midway through. So like we just kind of made it our thing where like you'd go into like a pee break and then you'd do the ad reads.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How long you guys do that podcast for?
That was like 2019 is probably when we started it, and we did it pretty consistently up until like 2023 maybe, something like that. So like at least 4 or 5 years.
You guys had some crazy guests on there.
Yeah, I some of them I can't believe, honestly. Like
which one surprised you the most? Like which one you were sitting there? And
Larry
just
King,
like,
for sure.
Fuck?
Like
that's fucking
Larry King.
insane.
Like he's like
that's insane.
Like quite literally. I mean, R.I.P. Larry King, but like he's quite literally like a legend in the TV and broadcasting. And like he's conducted over like 50,000 high profile interviews. He's radio personality, TV personality. Had an incredible talk show, and like someone like that, and like you're sitting in your living room and you're just like watching him, and like my buddy who I had just like like shotgunned a beer with 3 hours prior, like having like this like very like beautiful conversation. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That is crazy.
So yeah, moments like those, like forever grateful. Very, very cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
How's A-Rod as a person?
He's the fucking man.
I fuck with A-Rod, man.
He's the fucking man, dude. Like he's like
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, like very like he's a guy's guy, a fucking gentleman.
Yeah, man.
Very friendly, very nice. And the just like the short amount of times like I've been around him, but the concerts and stuff, like just super genuine, nice guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
very stand-up guy.
He gets so much hate, man. Shout out Aaron Rodgers. What a legend.
Yeah, I mean, like there's certain things that conflict in the sports world, which I totally understand. Like sports is like about like it's like sports,
exactly.
And like you have any type of like alternative lifestyle that like, opposes that. Of course, it's gonna rub some people the wrong way, but I mean, it's it is what it is.
I'm gonna ask this question right now because
shout out Aaron Rodgers too for just having balls and standing on his shit even during like COVID and all that shit.
That's the coolest part is just like being your own person.
Yeah.
Despite the environment you're in. And like if anyone should have confidence, it's him. He's one of the greatest, one of the greatest to ever do it. But yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch even always is showing him so much love.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if Marshawn Lynch is showing you love, you got to be a real one.
I love Marshawn Lynch. I want to quote an interview. I just saw him talk. He was talking about the Belichick not getting first ballot, and
which is insanity.
Yeah. And
Wait, what did he say?
I can't quote it because he says the N-word like every 4 words. So.
Not a direct quote.
But he was just like, he couldn't believe it, just like everyone else. He just like couldn't believe that this guy wasn't first ballot.
That shit was insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Which shows how much people, hate the Patriots organization during those years, which fully understand. Totally get it. A lot of shit happened. I get it. A lot of shit happened.
I had this like written down just as like a bonus question. But as someone who loves to drink and as someone who loves to stay fit, real quick.
Yeah.
Give me a tip on that.
I told y'all this was a personal pod.
Sorry, man.
No, I can talk about this forever. It's been my life, honestly.
If you drink that much, how do you stay that fit?
Yeah. So I'll try to put this in context as best as I can. When we were like at our peak, like probably like 2014 to 2018 or 19, like those like 5 years of like our peak, like really balls to the wall, like no human being should ever ingest that much alcohol ever, not even for one night.
Ever.
I genuinely think that like we just have crazy genetics.
Okay.
Mike has crazy genetics because like his dad was like a bodybuilder and then personal trainer, and like my mom's like a fucking freak of nature. Like she's in her 70s, and she'll wake up and walk 5 miles every day and then do like an hour yoga class. Yeah. So like, I think just like freak genetics, first of all.
No supplements.
Like we were like literally built to drink infinity alcohol in a night and recover and do it the next day. And then also like, you know, off the road, like we were always health conscious, you know?
Okay.
But just again, to put it in context, like when we were at our peak drinking, just to give you like an inside look at like when we're on tour, like what a day would look like, we'd be living on a bus. So like getting horrible sleep, eating awful, like terrible fast food, or if anything. And then you'd roll up to the venue, you get like a rider, you like at a certain level, like you ask the venue to like provide you with certain things in your dressing room.
I only want yellow M&Ms. Yeah.
And like ours wasn't anything like obscure like that, but it was like, all right, we need like 2 cases of Coronas. We need, you know, at one point our DJ booth on stage had like a built-in beer tap.
Oh my gosh,
so
that's fire.
The venue would supply us with like a pony keg, like an actual keg that we would put on stage and put onto a tap. So like in between songs, we would just like, you know, do that.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. But so like before and before a show, like, and then our shows were based around drinking for a while. Like really like every couple songs, it's like, all right, play heater. We're going to chug a beer. At some points we were like bringing fans on stage.
I know the bartenders loved y'all.
Yeah, we would see like how many, like we'd bring a fan on stage. We'd be like, all right, how many beers can you chug in a row? You know?
Oh, that's awesome.
I think it was like 6, I think was the record. Someone chugged 6 beers in a row.
Yeah, I know y'all's insurance for that shit was crazy.
Yeah, and then like Ciroc was a big thing back in the day. Ciroc was very popular.
Shout out Diddy.
No Diddy.
I said
Ciroc, no Diddy. Where like we would literally like play a song, and then there'd be 5 of us on stage, the crew, and like we would all crush an entire bottle of Ciroc before the song would end. We'd pass it, chug, pass, chug, and then like within 2-3 minutes we would just polish an entire. So like
I'm in the hospital for that.
Between between pre-show and show, like everyone's at least 10 to 15 drinks deep just before the show's even over, and then we go out and party after that. And like I would get shit because like I'm weighing like $150, $155, and like I know I'm a tank, but like I drink a little less because like I'm just 70 pounds lighter than everyone else. Yeah. So like, but like even me, like the lightweight of the group would be 20 drinks deep a night, like easy Sheesh. Minimum 20 drinks a night. And then we would be on the road for 6-7 weeks. So like you're doing it with like minimal off days and just like waking up next city, do it again. So like no human should ever do that. So like when we're on the off season, like we're off tour, like of course it's like hitting the gym.
You're locked in.
Yeah, you're locked in, and you're like just to maintain some type of like physical you don't look like a crackhead.
Did y'all have like withdrawals and shit? And did you ever have like anyone on the team dealing with alcoholism from that?
I mean, yeah, like I'm not gonna like call anyone out. But like, some people struggled with it more than others. And what's crazy is like we were like none of us were addicted to alcohol. You know, I think we were addicted to the lifestyle for sure. But like, you know, we could get off tour and not drink for several weeks and like we'd be fine. It's not like there was an addiction to alcohol, but definitely like an addiction to like, you know, being in that environment and just like living it to the fullest.
Yeah.
And then these days, like I still got a little dog in me, and like, yeah, we were just talking about how like my future in-laws were in town and like they like to have a good time when they're in Nashville. So I could still go on a bender and have nights like that, but like at what cost at this point, you know? Yeah. Now it's like my shit's down to a T where I'm like, you know, I gotta like go like meditate and do certain shit, and like I gotta like really focus on my health and everything, because if I have a day like that, like I'm donezo.
Throws off the whole schedule.
Yeah, it throws everything off, and it's as you get older, that's just what happens. Yeah.
Go ahead, Blaine. You got any questions? I have a whole list.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to take up everything.
I really love to get into like, and I know we've been talking a lot that would benefit independent artists, obviously, like most of the questions have, but I want to get into like maybe some actionable steps that artists can take to continue to grow their career. And obviously it depends on what their goals are and things, but really I want it from your perspective anyway. So regardless of what, you know, other artists' goals may be, I'm curious with like how that aligns with you, or like what aligns with you and what you think artists should be doing in this current like landscape.
Yeah. I mean, like one thing, and it's, you know, I started working with with Victor a lot more, V Wills. And I've tried, and he does a lot of this on his own, so I'm not going to take all the credit, but a lot of discussions we have are about, you know, what he's paying attention to. And like vanity metrics is something you brought up. Yep. And like he would be hyper focused on monthly listeners at times. And then you really break down like what a monthly listener is. It's like, that doesn't fucking mean anything, dude.
Nothing.
Like, it literally means like if one person within that month, like passed your song for like 3 or 4 seconds, and that's the only time they ever listened to you was those 3 or 4 seconds within a month, that counts as the monthly listener.
Yeah.
That metric doesn't fucking mean anything. So like, I get it. Like if you're an artist and like you see your monthly listeners go down from like 800,000 to like 500,000 in a month or two, you're like, oh fuck, I'm falling off. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, maybe there's a group of people that didn't pass your song and listen to it for 3 seconds. Like what difference does that make? So, it's about like directing your attention. And, you know, I don't want to be too repetitive, but, say you're like just starting out and there's like only 30 people that you would consider super fans that you know about in your ecosystem. Like how much time are you spending with those 30 people? You know? I think like like creating a place where you can like get all the people who care into one place is so important. Cause like if you think about social media, it's such a broken system. And like I've studied, I'm continuing to learn, but like say you're an artist and you only post reels. You don't post like static pictures. You don't post carousels. Like you just post 90% of your posts are just like single reels. If you really look at the analytics of what a reel does and who it goes to, it doesn't even go to your followers. Like I'd say like 70% of those reels are going to non-followers. And you look at a lot of artists now, like the majority of their posts and the stuff that's promoting their music are single reels. And even if they garner followers to their account, it's not even going to those people. So like you're not even like nurturing the people who hit the follow button. You're still like shooting it out to people that have no idea who you are. And I'm not saying like that's not important, but if like you really look at your social media and 90% of it is just single reels, like you're missing the point, you know? Like what about the 30 people who really care about you? Like, what are you doing for them? If like 90% of your time is spent on creating these things that are just to like go out and reach new people. So like, it's really like shifting your focus and like creating a space where you can like find the people who care, not even like super fans, like just active people who are curious to like learn more about you, like creating a space for them, first of all, being able to reach them. And then the people who really, really, really care, it's like, how do I bring the most value to these people? Cause like, I know these people, whatever I do, if I have a show, if I release merch, I know they're going to like support. So like, what am I doing for those people? And like, it's just like having that wide scope of all of that. And not just focusing on posting reels and reaching new people, because I can tell you firsthand, like if you nurture the people who really, really care and you spend time on them as well, like they're gonna ride with you fucking forever. They're gonna like, you know, if you want to be an artist 10 years from now, they're gonna still be there, and they're gonna be your biggest promoters and advocates. They're gonna go out and they're gonna be like whenever you're in town, they're gonna be like, I got to bring all my friends because I want them to see what this is all about too. So like, yeah, long-winded answer, but like, yeah, just shifting your focus in that way.
Yeah.
And let me ask about like, when it comes to content and for the super fans specifically, what ideas do you have to like nurture them when it comes to content? Yeah.
I mean, dude, live streaming is so big right now.
Okay.
It's crazy. Like, I'm not saying I like my answer used to be start a podcast, you know, we're on a podcast now. And I still think that's important because, even if you get like 10 people that sit and watch your hour podcast, like that's so meaningful. Like I guarantee like those 10 people, like even if it's 10 people, like that'll yield so much. Yeah. Because like we talked about this on a recent podcast for the artist community, but it's about like how are people supposed to get to know you if you don't give them the opportunity? And going on tour is great and all, but it's expensive. So like if you want to do it economically, like you can sit and just talk and have these conversations and then put those conversations out to the world and see who listens. That's giving them a great opportunity for like every week or every other week, an hour to just sit and listen. And then what's popular now, like live streaming is just fucking booming right now. And like some of the biggest fandom in the world is over live streamers because you are literally in real time hanging out with that person. And same thing goes for live streams. Like even if you're on a live stream for, an hour a week or whatever, and only 10 people show up, like you're hanging out with the 10 people that matter the most to you in your career, like,
Yep.
Yeah, they actually give a shit.
yeah. So like, I still think all that's meaningful. And to take it back to like V-Will's, like he was twitching, a couple times a week, and, he'd have 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 people come in, and like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. And like that really lays the foundation. And it's just like delayed gratification is just like not a thing today, which is sad.
Yeah. It's hard.
Patience, there's no patience, and there's there's no delayed gratification. So I think just laying the framework is so important. And to answer your question, yeah, like stuff like this and stuff like live streams and
documentaries
just like,
and stuff.
Yeah, and anything like that. But I get like you got to be economical and have a good ROI, because like you can't just go off and make an hour-long documentary like that. It takes a lot of work. But do you have an hour to like hit a button and sit on a live stream and talk to people? Yeah, of course you do.
Yep.
So like it's whatever is best for you as an artist, but it's it's just giving like those people an opportunity to get to know you. And it doesn't just have to be a piece of content. It could be like a real human to human interaction.
Yep.
Especially with today's technology,
Yeah.
Does Vic have a framework to how he does his lives?
Well, he did have a he did like have a partnership with Twitch for a while. But like I think he's probably gonna start doing it on his group's community going forward. But I think it's just like, having a schedule that people know and remember, and being again, consistency. Like when we did our Y&K podcast, we would drop it on the same day every week, and people knew when to expect it. And it was just, we didn't have to constantly like market, because like people would know when to tune in to see the new episode. So like if live streaming is a route you want to go down, it's just like, all right, I'm going to do this like every Monday, 7 p.m. I'm going to make some promotional content around it. And no matter what, like we're going to be there. And like we do that with the artist community, like with our live streams. Granted, we've missed a couple here and there, but like every 2 weeks we do it like on this day at this time, and people know when to expect it. And it's just people like it becomes part of people's routine, like you are part of people's routine, which is I think the goal in all of it.
Wiz is killing the live streams right now.
Really?
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a boomer in this phase, because like live streams kind of taken off since I've started in the music industry. So like I would love to learn more about live streaming. Like I've never really spent time on Twitch or anything like that, but I do see the benefits of it, and I do see like the fandom that comes from consistent live streaming. So I think it's a really useful tool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I want to kind of put you on the spot here if you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Could you fire off some questions that artists should answer for themselves or for their teams or whatever?
Oh man.
We can come back to this too if you want.
Yeah. I mean, one, it's like, why are you an artist? Why do you want to be an artist? That's the most important one. It's like, why are you doing this? I think like a lot of, and myself included, like I did this to the fullest, but a lot of people get wrapped up in the goals of it all, and it's like the achievements of it all. It's like, I want to get a Grammy, or I want to sell at Red Rocks, or it's like, if that's your why, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think like with anything in life, especially being an artist, like you just have to, you got to do it for the love of the game. Regardless of the outcome, if you know, like you just love the process, you love making the art, and even the annoying stuff is worth it to you, because like you just love being an artist, then like that's a great place to be. And I'm not saying you have to be like that day one, but I just know like my own life, like if people stop paying me tomorrow, like I'd probably still do all this, I'd figure out a way, because like this is just like what I love doing. Like I don't care about the paycheck. I don't care about, all I really care about is like bringing value to these people, and like using my talents and skill set to like help them. And I'd love to help them as much as humanly possible. So like just that process of doing all that, like that's completely fulfilling to me. So like I would hope as like an artist, they could all like strive for that.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing it? Like, do you really love to just wake up and make art every day? Like, is that why you're doing it? Or are you doing it because you want a lot of validation from like having a lot of fans? Like I think it's just important to ask yourself that. That's probably the most important one, of why you're doing it. And then the second one is, like, who are you? Knowing who you are as a human being, because like you can't reach true authenticity until you like really know yourself, and you can't know yourself until you spend time with yourself. And there's so many distractions today, where like people don't spend time with themselves.
Right.
I know you guys do. You're out there on the mushrooms just catching vibes. I've received a lot of answers from just getting out there on mushrooms. I don't do it very often, but the few times I've done it, like I've gotten some answers for sure.
I want to ask this though, like, because we always talk about this, like knowing yourself and like as far as brand and stuff like that as an artist. But as a 24-year-old like myself, I don't always feel like I know 100% of myself.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
I think part of my artistry is trying to figure out that.
Hell yeah, fucking right.
And who I am as an artist. And it's always just like a never ending battle.
And you know who else is going through that? About like 5 billion other people in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, it depends how open you want to be with the world, but our entire podcast was successful because we didn't have shit figured out. When we started in 2019, we're coming off 10 years of just like completely annihilating ourselves and then trying to like figure out who we are as men.
Yep.
And our podcast in a way was just like letting people in on that journey. And so many people could relate to it. And like, it got to the point where people were fans of the podcast before Mike as an artist.
Yeah.
And it would funnel people into the music side of things, just from letting people in on that journey. So, that's the beauty of it, is like, you don't have to have it all figured out. And a lot of other people can relate to not having things figured out. And I think, you let people in, and, you use that as a narrative and a way to bond with people and get fans that way. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I think that's a very important thing to like get out to, especially new artists, because it seems like everybody's telling you that you need to have it figured out.
Yeah, you got to know your brand. You got to know the archetype that you are.
And it can frustrate the fuck out of you.
And your brand's going to change every day. Your brand's going to change every day. 10 years ago, our brand was getting fucked up and drinking as much as possible and hanging out with chicks. And now our brand is like, taking care of ourselves and being good people. So like your brand's going to constantly change. It's going to constantly shift. And you're not going to have it all figured out. And a lot of people, and I think now more than ever, like just being human is so important. The human elements of all of this is so important. Like it can't just be about the music anymore.
Right.
Like, it can't, because now robots can make music that's perfect.
Right.
So like, you gotta be human now. You have to.
Yeah. I tend to think too, that like the more that you're human, the more that you're just trying to make what feels good to you as far as your creations and stuff, that your fan base kind of decides what your brand is in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you lead and you're trying, you're just trying to be as authentic as possible. And you'll have these creative ideas where you can tell a narrative in a certain way. Yeah. However, how you show up consistently and then what your fans actually feel about you is what becomes your brand. And then you kind of have more direction of what to lean into because know what they connect to.
It definitely goes hand in hand. It's wacky, man, especially like with the Steves and Mike's whole thing. It's like you go to these shows and we've presented so much of ourselves over the years, where like you go to these shows and you look around, you're like, well, like everyone like looks like us and acts like us. And I don't think it's a result of like them just copying. I think it's like it literally goes.
You connect to something that's authentic within them.
Literally goes hand in hand. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of crazy to see, especially as the shows scale. Like you're around like the most like-minded people possible, because like they've connected with whatever you've had to put out there into the world. So like it's having that much unity with that amount of people. It's like, yeah, I get why the Grateful Dead is a thing and why people would travel to every show. And, it's like, I get it. Like everyone's literally on the same frequency, and that's fucking wild.
It's a very real example of like the law of attraction and manifestation, because y'all are attracting each other because there's this something within y'all that connects. Yeah. And then y'all are manifesting the next level of that and what that continues to look like. And I don't know. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's religion. It really is. Yeah. It's religion.
Yeah.
I don't want to discount religions by saying like our thing is a religion, but it's very similar. It really is.
Stevenson Ranch is a cult.
Stevenson Ranch is not a cult.
I didn't know the Steves started like that. Like it was like just a joke you guys had.
Stevenson Ranch, yeah. I mean, we called our house in LA Stevenson. We lived in LA for 5 years, and our second house we moved into for 3 years, like right around 2017 to 2020.
Yeah.
That house was like our party house, and we called it Stevenson Ranch because people could go there and act like animals. So that was the ranch.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then like throughout all that, the clothing line got created and called it Stevenson Ranch. We had a dog, and our dog was named Steve. And then the fans started calling each other Steve, and then the fans are Steves, and it became a whole thing. Kind of.
That's awesome.
I'm going to ask you this, but please feel free. We could just cut this out if you don't want to.
I'm an open book, man.
I'm curious, like, how are y'all funding all of that at the time?
Funding what?
Like getting the houses in LA, and was it just everybody throwing in what they could?
When you're an independent artist and you own the lion's share of your shit, like,
yeah. Well, then when was the
fuck, dude?
What was the point that y'all started, like that Mike started to see a real return on his shit?
I mean that's a good question. I don't know if I was like I didn't know much about the business side of things back then, but yeah, let me think. I mean, because music streaming didn't come along until 2015, really. So like there was like 3 or 4 years where like there was no streaming revenue. We were selling music on iTunes, and the iTunes split was like 70-30, I'm pretty sure. And like he was selling albums and selling records, so like he was keeping the majority of that, most of it. We were doing pretty well on YouTube, so like there was YouTube revenue for sure. And then the concerts, like he started doing like pretty big shows, like 2014. So like it only took about 3 years before like the shows started to get into the thousands, like over 1,000 people in some markets. So like,
would you say that's pretty fast for an independent artist?
For sure. Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely. Like we laid the groundwork. I mean, we did years of shows where there was only 100 people there or 200 people. So like every market pretty much scaled accordingly.
How were, like, sorry to interrupt you on this answer, but like even when you were doing the 100, 200, how were y'all marketing that? Because this is before like meta ads were necessarily like,
Yeah, back then, I mean, the world we lived in, music blogs were like the end all be all of marketing and distribution. You know? Like there was no curated playlists dude. I mean, this is gonna really date me, but when we started, there was no Instagram.
Wow.
Like you had
MySpace and Facebook.
You can make and YouTube. YouTube was a huge thing. Like SoundCloud too. I think SoundCloud.
Yep.
But like you'd make like you put music on SoundCloud, you put it on YouTube and stuff, or make videos. Music videos were like a big thing back then, which was great. And then you'd hope you get on these blogs. Like Tim had goodmusical.day.com. That's how like Tim and I met, and we became really good friends. Is like he had in this world, he had one of the biggest blogs that had a ton of traffic. If your video got on there, like people were going to see it. A lot of people were going to see it. He had like millions and millions and millions of like active people that went on that site and checked out music, because that was music discovery back then.
Man, shout out Tim.
Shout out Tim, man.
Shout out Tim, man. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Tim. I can honestly say that. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Tim, because I wouldn't have met Mike if it wasn't for Tim. Mike had one song out when I discovered who he was, and I found that one song on Good Music All Day.
Wow.
And that's how I would find artists that I wanted to work with. And
that's crazy.
One day I saw like College Humor by Mike Stud, and I'm like, Mike Stud, like that's a fucking weird name. And then College Humor, and I watch it, and I'm like, he's at Georgetown, he's like partying with girls and they're drinking. I'm like, I can relate to this. Like I was 22 at the time, or 23. I'm like, I can relate to this. This guy seems pretty cool. And then like email Mike Stud and send him some beats, and that's how we met.
Wow.
So like,
shoot your shot, independent artists and producers and anything.
Yeah, it's but like things were so simple back then, man. Like I think marketing yourself as an independent artist is so hard now. Like
it
really is.
Clouds my mind so often because I'm like, where do I focus?
Yeah, there's more artists. There's like way more artists than there's ever been. It's like it's easy to make your music sound really not easy, but like it's.
Well, I mean, you got Suno now. You can make that shit sound professional real quick.
That's a whole nother layer. But like, I'm just trying to think of when we started. Like, there's no Splice. Like
right.
People like I remember. The producer Louis Bell that like we worked with back in the day, we're all from the Boston area, and like he had like a hard drive of all his samples, and like back then you had to like literally dumpster dive through the internet and like find different drum samples and shit and all these, and he's had them all like on his hard drive, and like
MPC
that's what he pulled, and like it actually like meant something to like have a hard drive full of dope samples.
Yeah,
you know,
facts. That was like that was exclusive.
You had to like find all these different packs online and stuff like that, and then like even before that, like people got samples off of fucking vinyls. You know what I mean? So like now it's like it's just so accessible, and like you can make really professional music a lot easier now, more than ever. So like there's so much competition. Like how do you set yourself apart? You know, and like that's where I think the human element's going to come in more so than ever. And yeah, dude,
So then do you think like what cuts through is human development?
Just human connectivity.
Yeah,
human connectivity. Shit, like, yeah, technology is about to fucking get flipped on its head, man. The whole world's gonna get flipped on its head, and it's gonna affect a lot of things, and art especially. That's why, like, I do like what y'all are doing is like admirable. Like, I see posts of you guys, like homies pulling through with fucking trombones and shit, and like, there's so much human element to like y'all like collaborating and making music with lots of people, and like I think that's beautiful, and I would stick with that if I were to give you guys any advice. Like, stay with that because that's becoming more and more rare, you know, and I think embodying that and like championing the fact that like y'all are like just collaborating with so many other humans and like, you know, putting these works of art together, like it's just like it's rare now and it's cool to see, and I think it's become more valuable as time goes on.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. There's like so much magic in that, because not only like are you able to, I mean, you make a moment with other people to create something, and it's like, to me, I feel God in those moments, you know, and it like there's times where like I'll be capturing the content, or I'm just sitting there and like I almost like get a tear in my eye, because it's like what led to these 8 people, all of our own paths that led to this one moment where we're able to create something that means something to us and that we care about, and then, you know, we always too, like at our sessions, shout out Carter, man. We record at his house, and very oftentimes we all cook dinner together. We sit down, we eat, we talk about life, we make some music, and we just care about each other. And there's times where like this shit gets really hard, man, and money gets tight, and I'm worried about being able to afford this or debt or whatever. And then you have those moments where you're having dinner and you make a good song, and you see everybody just like, for a moment, none of that other shit matters.
Yeah.
And it feels, it's like this moment where you like tap into eternity in a way. And I know I'm kind of getting out there, but
no, keep going. Keep going.
Like, I appreciate you saying that, because that's where I feel alive. And, you know, lately, to be transparent, man, lately I've been going through a lot of stress with all this shit. I'm about to be 30 in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been doing this shit since I was 17.
Yeah.
You know, and figuring it out. And sometimes it just gets so overwhelming. And then to have those moments, and then to have you like confirm that, and to be like, yeah, that is what we need to lean into, and talking about like, you know, focus on your top 30 or whoever is like really supporting you. And I don't know, man. I just want to say thank you for the confirmation in that shit, because those are the things that matter to me the most. But sometimes my head gets clouded with, well, you know, we don't have that many monthly listeners. We don't have a following, all this other shit. But really what matters is that connection.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you could start a community with 10 people, you know? It's like, you don't need a community of 1 million people. Like it can start small, and shit, like what you just said was really fucking profound. I've had little glimpses of that over the years. I mean, I played in bands and stuff growing up, and I can like completely relate to that feeling when you're just like, you're with your people, and you all fucking came together somehow, you know, your stories aligned somehow, and you came together. And there are moments where you're just like, you're jamming and you're in the fucking zone, and you feel it, and you're like, oh, like you're bigger than the earth, you know?
Right. It's past finance, it's past race, it's past like what your background is.
The weirdest part about it is like everybody gets connected on the same, like everybody's connected in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's very weird. Like everybody just connects. Like when a good song's being made, it's just everybody's like magnetized in a way.
I know,
it's
man.
Strange.
That's why it's like, And like no shade to people who do this, because like music is supposed to, the creation of music should be whatever, however you want it to be as an artist. But like it's so common today to just like, oh, this guy's gonna email me a beat. I've never met him in my life, and I'm just gonna like make some records off this beat, and then that's how I make music. You know, it's like nothing, like really nothing beats like just the human collaboration of it all, being in one room and doing it. Like I completely agree. Like it's a feeling like no other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when people listen, I would hope that they can tell when they hear it. I can anyways, when I hear your stuff, it's like, yeah, that's why I'd love seeing that post that you guys just posted of like, I think you guys should do more of that, you know,
the carousels,
or just like showing
behind
people like the human element of your music and all the collaboration and all the people. And like, because like I'm telling you, like that's like almost a lost art form, man. It really is.
I think sometimes I struggle with being in those moments and then being like, fuck, I need to film these moments. You know what I mean?
It's the worst, bro.
It's very challenging.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's having those people in your life that are like, their job is to just, be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
So you can be in the moment.
Yes.
And that's, I want to
my gosh, bro.
I wish I had the budget to hire someone for that. You know what I mean? But like, I think being here and trying to get more involved in the community and connecting with people who end up believing in it and that we can just bring in as like family will hopefully, help us with those aspects.
Especially when you're like the artist you're trying to be vulnerable in the music and shit. And you're like, oh man, I just have to go and turn this camera on real quick. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I mean, you can imagine my struggle. Like I'm a videographer and like, I want to be present too.
Right.
I fucking hate that I have to go on social media every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, but it's like, it's a necessary evil. It's like, you have to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Man, we did something last May into June, and it was called, we called it an Open Door Collective, and it was called BUMS, BU Make Stuff. And Max and I and Zoe, and, we had Richard, a few other people helped us put it all together, but we got a house for 2 weeks in my hometown, Columbia, South Carolina. Got an Airbnb, and we hosted. I mean, I don't know. There was like 40 different creatives that came through
over the course of the 2 weeks.
Some people stayed the night. Like some people stayed fucking a week and a half,
which was not in the plans.
But man, we were able to provide an opportunity where like we had people who do this professionally, like Ricky, who it's his day job to fucking produce and mix and engineer. And then we had artists who it was their first time recording. And we were able to have all these people collaborate. And it was like, man, it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever been a part of, because we had people that said like, yo, I never felt allowed to be an artist, or I never felt connected. I didn't know there were other people that felt like me and thought like me. And I think that things like that are going to be the future of music. Really.
I agree. I think you guys should do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like physical communities is like, would be a great thing for you guys.
Yeah.
And making sure it's captured properly, obviously.
That's the hardest part. And I mean, we captured a shit ton of it. We probably have almost a terabyte of footage, but then it's like,
we did live streams. Like we had some days of like 9-hour live streams.
Yeah.
And then all the live streams are done. We're done with it. And then we're like, fuck, how do we edit the live streams and
and continue to make the songs and like finish it and
So that's something we need to fix, but it's definitely a great idea.
But I mean, just creating that community. I mean, just the artist community, which we just started in the last year. I mean, like it might not be the biggest community, but like I've met some amazing people through it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, we kind of have like our own thing now, and it's really cool. And I wish it was a little more physical, because I know people are from all over the place.
But at the same time with the HQ, like, man, the artist community has been transformative for us. We were in a spot in South Carolina where like, I mean, we had a great community, don't get me wrong, but we just didn't feel like there was really much momentum. And then coming up here and recording music in Nashville, we started to feel a lot more momentum. And then connecting with y'all, it was just like, wow, this shit really feels like it's moving now. We're not just stuck in the mud. And y'all provided a space for us to come and get insight on, strategy, or just like feel connected to people. And, even like there were times where like we submit our songs and I realized ultimately like, oh, I didn't know that I was looking for validation on this music, but y'all gave us a space to where I realized that like y'all validated the music, but it also helped me release the need for validation around the music.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's something that I tell every artist that I know about the artist community. And so I think it's a really dope thing that y'all are building. And the fact that even though, you know, it would be cool to have even more connection in person, the fact that there's artists all over this country and maybe, you know, all around the globe that actually feel like they have something to connect to and feel seen and relate, because there's all these little, like, you know, cities and towns that are out there where artists feel like the weirdest people in their town, and to have a place where they can come and like just be with a bunch of other weird motherfuckers is great.
And it's such it's such a judgment free zone. It feels like, at least to me, it's like nobody's really judging other people. Everyone's creative, so it kind of people understand what it takes. You know what I mean? So it's very freeing.
And even like cool. I've seen some live streams, people submit a song that's not that good, and people just talk shit about it. They'll be like, "What the fuck did you just submit?" Yada yada, whatever. But I've seen, like, you know, when artists submit to y'all, if there's a song that needs work or something, y'all don't shit on it. Y'all highlight what was good about it, and y'all give them some constructive criticism that's not like, you're not crushing someone's fucking, you know, how they feel about themselves.
Everyone starts at zero.
Yeah.
From a like skill set, you know, like everyone starts literally at zero. So if someone come into the live stream and like they're at 0 or they're at 1 or 2, whatever, you know, it's like, all you can do is give them the necessary information to get from step 0 to step 2, you know, like that's the most constructive thing to do. Cause like, you know, if it ends up not being for them, like, I'm not going to be the reason it's not for them.
Right.
I want to be the reason that they got from step 0 to step 2. You know? So like that's the way I see it. It's like everyone starts.
That early encouragement is so much, man. Like when you have just one person that's like, "Hey, I think you could do this." It's
so much.
You know?
I've had a lot of lucky breaks like that too in my life where, I don't know. I share this story all the time, but it was so meaningful to me where, I said like in my high school, there was a lot of like arts and stuff like that and different classes. And one of the classes in my high school was, it was called jazz combo, but we didn't play jazz music. You just kind of get paired up with other musicians and, to like form a full band basically. And then you spend the semester just like learning a couple songs, could be whatever songs you want. And then at the end of the semester, you perform it, you know,
that's fucking
in front of friends and family. Yeah. It's my favorite class, hands down. And I was obsessed with the guitar and like, I thought I was Jimi Hendrix and I had an afro and I was definitely the weirdo in my high school. And, but I could shred. And we would always play like, I remember our drummer was fucking dope. He was so good. And like, we would have female singers a lot. So we could do some like Zeppelin and stuff with like, the high, you know? So like we would play dope songs, you know, we would learn really cool songs, whether it's like AC/DC or Led Zeppelin or whatever. And, a girl that was, the grade below me was Steven Tyler's daughter.
What?
Wow.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, like, I mean, go figure. He's
always,
from
Boston, right?
He's always been from Boston, yeah. And he has, it's from like his second marriage, I guess, because he has, like Liv Tyler, who's older, but then I think he got remarried and then he had 2 other kids. One of them, they both went to my school, but one was the grade below me. And she was like a phenomenal singer, like really good. But she was in like the choir group, she sang choir. And at the end of the semester, like we would all the musical programs would have the same concert. So naturally, Steven Tyler would come to the shows.
God damn.
That's fucking wild.
And like he came to multiple. I remember like at least 2 or 3 over the years. And me, like knowing that I'm going into a scenario where Steven Tyler's going to watch me play guitar and like perform and play. One of them, I had to do the whole fucking intro to Stairway to Heaven.
Wow.
Can you imagine like, shitting bricks or whatever? But,
wow.
And I'd be too like embarrassed or nervous to like, after the shows, like go up and talk to him or whatever. But my mom's got no shame. My mom's like sweetest Italian woman ever, very talkative. She'll go up and talk to anyone.
Yep.
And, she would always go up and talk to him and they'd chit chat and he'd be like, which one was your kid? And she'd be like, oh, the one with the afro wearing bell bottoms. and he would always be like, oh yeah, you rocked. He was really good, man. So like to get any form of validation from someone like that, Steven Tyler, when you're 16, 17 years old,
man,
during like
awesome.
the most like impressionable years ever, like getting anything, even if he was just being nice, I don't care. I thought it was great.
That's dope.
That instantly puts you can't tell me nothing. That's how I'd be feeling if I was 16 with that.
Then I remember there was one performance where like our like town newspaper was there and I got like the validation from from Steven Tyler, and the newspaper was like, "Can we take your photo in front of like the venue?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So I'm there in like my fucking fly ass button down, my bell bottoms, my aviator glasses, my afro, my fucking bandana, and I'm just there with my fucking my Gibson SG, like looking all badass in front of like the the school performance arts center, and then it was the front page of the paper.
Wow. Oh. Yeah, nobody could convince you weren't a rock star.
Yeah, I'm just like,
that is hard.
So then after that, I'm like, yeah, music.
Yeah, that's fucking dope.
Fucking music. Let's go. Fuck math,
everything else.
Fuck science, history, English. Fuck English.
Fuck all the subjects.
I'm like music. Fuck all the subjects. Music. Let's go. So yeah, shit like that. It's like, so like if I can have moments like that, and I could even like play any part in anyone's early stages to like convince them to keep going and give them the encouragement, then that's like a beautiful gift that I could give someone.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
I think too, y'all align around like a huge belief of mine is we live in America where everything is commoditized, and obviously music falls into that heavily. And I think it robs people of the spiritual experience that is music. And, like music is so natural to humans. We have cadence in how we walk. We have a rhythm in how we speak. We have, and
give me chills. Yeah.
And so like to have a space where people can go and get feedback on their music, and maybe they pursue it as a full career, maybe they don't, but they just feel supported in that. I think it's such a blessing to remind people that like, hey, you deserve to be able to make music just for the sake of making music.
Yeah.
Shit. I hate that it's story time, but another thing that like solidified what you just said for me is this was probably like 5 years ago. Me, Mike, and some of the guys took a trip out to Joshua Tree in California, and just to like strictly just to take mushrooms and acid and just see what happens.
Nice.
And like first day,
good place for it.
First day, and like I don't really like dabble a lot with psychedelics. Like I'm honestly kind of a lightweight with it. Honestly, the few times I've done it, doesn't take a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of bad experiences because I just wouldn't take them in the best environments.
Yeah.
But this, I was like, this is the environment.
Yeah.
Like you're just out in the desert, and you're just like, there's nothing around. So we did it, and the whole first day, we took a shitload of mushrooms the whole day, and we literally had the same album of Rufus Du Sol looping on literally a fucking loop. And I remember like there's videos of me where like I have my shirt just tied around my head, and I'm just like in like a drum circle with myself, like for the first couple hours. I'm just like, and I like literally just fucking like feeling it, you know what I mean? Like embodying the music.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying you have to go out and take a bunch of drugs to have this experience, but like literally, like it really is spiritual. Like music very much is spiritual, and it just lights a fire within you, man. That it's something I can't really put it into words, honestly.
Yeah,
it's magical.
I agree, man. Like to me, that's at the core of like why I rap and I sing, because like when I really pray, I just rap to God. I just
yeah.
And it's like it's this full connection. Like my best verses or whatever, freestyles, whatever, like no one will ever hear them besides like me and God, and those moments, they're, I don't know, they're just they're beyond anything that I really stress about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so grateful for it.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Might be the final question if we want to wrap up. It's up to you guys. But what are your goals right now in your career? Like, you've had all the success and you've seen all the success. What are your goals now?
I'm lucky enough to say I feel like I know my purpose now, and like I'm very like comfortable and happy and fulfilled with what I do. From the time I wake up and the time I go to bed, like I feel completely fulfilled. And I know that's going to change over time because like I'm not married yet. Hopefully soon. I don't have kids yet, so like I know like things will shift over time. I can guarantee it. But in this moment right now, I think like my purpose is to bring value to artists, mostly to musicians. And I like in order for me to be of most value to those people, I have to like literally remove as much static within inside myself as possible.
Interesting.
So like a lot of my focus throughout the day is to just making sure that I'm at peace up here so that I can have they call it signal and static and signal. So like when you have static, it's like you can't really be constructive up here or provide much value because there's just there's a lot of static in the world today. Like, so many different outlets that will give you static. So like my goals every day is like, how can I have the least amount of static and the most amount of signal so that I can fulfill my purpose and provide as much value to these people as possible. Cause like, especially now, like the stakes are getting really fucking high. Like this Red Rock stuff, like we're starting to see like we're taking this further than any of us had ever imagined. So it's like, I got to bring my best self so I can bring as much value to take this as far as it can go and provide value to like people I like genuinely love and care about. And like, that's very important to me, like very, very important to me. So like literally my only goal is to just have the least amount of static in my head as possible. Mm-hmm. And like, I base my diet around it, my exercise, like my daily activity. And that doesn't mean I'm perfect. You know, like I'll go out and binge drink for an entire day sometimes. And like, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. But like most of my goals are just making sure that I have like the inner peace in my head so I can be as effective as possible.
Yeah, I got one question, but I want to give you a phrase that Richard and I always use. You got to retox to detox.
Got to retox to detox.
I wish you didn't tell me that. and sorry, the one thing I left out too, which again I heard recently, which was very important, is like not just being effective to like fulfill a purpose, but also like we all give off frequencies, like we really do. And like if you're on a shit vibe all the time, and like you're just putting out that shit vibe and that frequency out to everyone around you. Yeah. And like I genuinely like not just to be effective at what I do and to help people, but like also just like be on a good frequency. So like I'm just like not polluting the energies around me. Like right. I fully believe in that. So
literally
like
creating a better world around you for like that's the greater good. Yeah.
And just I mean, it could be simple. It could be like just, you know, like you're getting a coffee and like you brighten the fucking person behind the counter's day, like just from being on a good vibe. Yeah. Like that stuff is like contagious and it spreads. It is. And so can the negativity. So like I've been in times.
And it compounds.
Yeah. And I've been on downward spirals during like hard years. So like I've been on shit vibes for over a year sometimes, you know? And it really does affect the people around you. And especially if you're around people that you care about, like that's the last thing you want to do. So, yeah, it's just like, yes, it's being effective for the people I care about and like being productive and like being my best self, but then also just like being on a good vibe. Yeah. Yeah. Just, I think both of those things for sure are my goal.
How do you think, if you could give a tip to like younger artists, or I mean, even not necessarily younger artists, but any kind of creative on how to kind of clear that static and tap in more with the signal?
It's different for everyone. Man. Yeah. It's different. It takes years to figure out, but it's about like just adopting good habits, man. Like once you figure out something that works for you, it could be anything. Like for some people, it could be meditating, it could be smoking weed, it could be going for a run, it could be going to the gym, like whatever. Just like once you start stacking those things that are like really clear the fucking static for you. And for me, it changes all the time, but yeah, it's different for everyone, but you got to be aware of it. Like you really do. And like, you just have to pay attention to like, especially as an artist, and Mike preaches this all the time. It's like, he doesn't even take credit for the songs that he makes. He's like, I didn't do that. Like God did that. Right. You know what I mean? He's like, all I did was,
he was the vessel.
All he did was clear the static so he could receive it and then put it out and make it. And I think, because where do ideas come from? You know, right? He talks about this all the time. It's like, he's like, how did I get this idea? How did I get this lyric? How did I get this idea for this song? How did I know like it's supposed to be these chords and this? Like, it's all he's doing is just like putting himself on the right frequency where he can accept that information and then make it.
Right.
Yeah. And like, if you got a bunch of static in your head and you're an artist, like you're gonna make a lot of doo-doo. Yeah. Like, you might not make anything at all. You know. Facts. Like if you get writer's block. It's because you got static up there.
100%, and that's what.
Yeah, sometimes. Sorry to interrupt you, but sometimes the work is just like dedicating part of your day to like making sure you're on a good vibe. Yeah, like that's part of the art. Yeah, of creating the art. It really is.
100%. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like even with like you said with writer's block, like that's one of the reasons for the names is because like when you're feeling that static, maybe it's a song you can't finish it. You're probably supposed to do something else creative right in that moment to clear the static and tap back into the signal. And as you do, you realize like, oh, the song's already written. Now I'm back at it. Like the song's already written.
Yeah.
I just want to say too, the creative act by Rick Rubin it's right on this path too.
Good.
So if people want to read that, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, no,
I like that conversation.
That's a great book. Yeah, and I like that it's broken into like a lot of chapters, a lot of ideas. Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool. You could open that page. You can open that book up to like any chapter. You
Yeah.
can read it out of order every day. You could just be like, I'm gonna read this page today.
Right. You could take it like a devotional. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a really good book. But yeah, man. Like sometimes, like it's not. Sometimes you don't have to be creative at all. Like it could just be going for a walk, getting a little nature.
Exactly.
Like, you know, it could be.
Yep.
It could be anything, man. It's like you just gotta pay attention to what makes you feel good and what puts you on a good vibe. Yeah, and it'll help your art at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Totally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say to the people? That was a pretty profound last like 10 minutes.
It was.
I mean, you guys know Mike. I've had like a million conversations like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of us like a lot of our conversations are just like trying to figure shit out like this. You know, life is hard, undoubtedly, and you're always going to go through ebbs and flows and hard times. Like that's we had a very profound saying back in the day. We didn't know it was profound. We thought it was just a joke, but we ended up naming our podcast after it. And the saying is, you never know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's literally like what I've come to find is the only truth in life is that you never know. You really do. You don't know if any situation's good or bad. You could have the worst day of your life. You could lose everything, and you really don't know what it's going to lead to. If it's going to lead to something even greater, like you have no idea. If something great happens, you don't know if that's going to lead to something terrible.
Right.
So like, I don't know, if I'm going to leave with anything, it's that like, you can't really judge any moment as good or bad. And like, you really never know, and you never know what's going to happen. And I think that's where faith comes from, right? Like, it's like just having faith in things. And like what's really helped me in life is like, once you don't judge any situation as good or bad, then like you can just live your days a lot more free.
Yeah.
A lot more free, and you have a lot more like mental clarity, and you don't go down any bad mental spiral. So
yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Well, thanks for being on the podcast, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Of course,
appreciate it.
Maybe I'll come back again. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh,
we'd love to have you back.
Love to have you.
No, seriously, I'll come back whenever. This was great. Yeah. Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You as well.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Oh. I played like an outro song there.
I heard that.
It's like, burp.